Hey everyone, it's James. June 19th, about 5:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC USD on the Bitfinex exchange. So everything's looking good for Bitcoin. You know, last night's video, I talked about how I took the trade a couple days ago now, down in here, back on the actually the morning of the 18th is when I took the trade. So I was looking at it on the 17th night, but I took it on the 18th morning. But anyways, the point is that I talked about that price was going to continue to head higher, and I still believe that we're going to move higher. How far? I have very little confidence we are going to break above this area. And honestly, I don't know how far to the upside we are going to get, because I have some ideas on where I think we're going to go, and we might just push higher than where we're currently at. But the problem is right now in this market is that as we're making this move up, the volume is not accompanying the move. So, you know, from my prior video, I was talking about, you know, in here we started trading 3 billions in 24-hour volume, and then all of a sudden 9 billion during the spike. Here, 3 billion during the spike, about 4 billion is where we peaked up. Then we peaked up throughout the day, about 4.4. So it's not the same market. And at the same token too, we have this kind of dwindling in price action. Now, I don't like to go too far back into here because this is the bubble phase. So this is like the new market. This is the new world order, Illuminati, but whatever. What we see here is the dwindling in price action, meaning that we're stretching more toward the horizontal plane, okay? As we stretch to the horizontal plane, we are forming more of a base for price to build the energy necessary to head back up and eventually rival the top at 20,000. Now, there's a few different things that could change that completely. If we come back down and this run goes like this and topples over and we literally duplicate one of these lackluster moves, then we'll come down, break 6,100 roughly, and then 6,000. And as we slice through that zone, that's going to change the dynamic of it and mean that what I would extrapolate from that price action, if we go under 6,000, is that this, which I definitely believe, was an artificial bottom manufactured. And these are the series of guppy rallies as big money got themselves out, transferred the money to smaller hands. That's why we're not seeing that volume come back into this market, first of all. That's why we're also seeing these moves get smaller and smaller, and that's why we see them completely toppling over. Because as the money gets exchanged and the small retail traders are left holding the bag, they don't have enough weight to move price to the upside. So if we cut through 6,000, then we are going to head toward what would have been the natural bottom on where Bitcoin should have went from this top down here, okay? So if we progress lower, then we could easily slice through 6,000. I definitely think if we roll over here and we make a small move, then I'm like very, very confident we will slice through 6,000. And if we do so, we could easily see the mid fives, maybe 5,000. I don't want to get too far into that because that's a whole nother analysis that certain criteria has to be met, and that criteria as of now is about about $700, no, about $600 away right now. So I don't want to like venture off into that because that's fantasy land at this moment. If we produce this move and we cannot break above 7,800, then I definitely think that we have a high probability of moving back downward to break that 6,000 level. And the reason why is because when you start seeing that these runs that are being manufactured, that are being pushed, right, to whether they're whipping out shorts or whatever they're doing, getting smaller and smaller, and we're rolling over, it's not a good sign for the market. It means less and less people are falling for this. And I've seen tons of comments of people just saying like, hey, I'm completely done with this market. I know people that are just completely done with the market. They want nothing to do with it anymore. There's two reasons behind that. Obviously, the blatant manipulation is like the big glaring thing. But the second thing is that as you have a bubble market and you move toward this basing pattern, this normalization, people get pissed off because you used to be able to make 20, 30, 40% pretty quick in Bitcoin, sometimes, and even bigger than that. Like, and then you go to the alts and it gets even crazier, right? But now it's like you're like wrestling a giant to make like 4 or 5%. Not a lot of people are going to want to hang around for that, especially when they got accustomed to that, and especially when you're hanging on and then all of a sudden you're being whipped out literally the next day. I mean, look at this. Like, you're being tossed around like a washing machine and then thrown right off a cliff and literally body slammed and then thrown back into the washing machine, and now we popped up. And now the question is, do we even create a sustained rally from here? So yes, I'm in the trade. Yes, I'm up very good on the trade. I do have my stops in place. I have stops for my subs because, you know, just as much as I believe we're going to start to kind of move higher because we see it breaking through the downtrend lines, showing that buying pressure to the upside, it's still worrisome based on what's happened in the past just right here, okay? So it's just that as of now, I don't want to sound like bullish because there's a lot of red flags going off, even though we're changing the direction. But I do think there is a small run ahead of us in this market. And if we can start to break some key areas like 7,800, then I think we could have a good shot of potentially running higher. And then the next zone from that would be this 9,900 range. And if we break above 9,900, then we definitely are starting to enter into that bull market. And it's just going to be a little more horizontal as the lines would connect only 100-point difference on that slope, which is a very subtle slope, which means a lot of time is necessary, something I've talked about multiple times in these videos. That time is necessary to accumulate the energy that we need to break above 20,000 in the future, okay? So as of now, short term, it looks good. Long term, bigger perspective, does not look good. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Like I said, it's not investment advice. It's just done for educational purposes. I have these green lines out there to show the direction, the price momentum, the pushing of energy, if you will. If you can kind of visually see what's happening here, that's why I have this cone kind of going out that way, is just to represent what I see in my mind so everybody can kind of like download that into their head watching these videos. You can see the selling pressure. You can see that we're consistently breaking through it. That's a positive sign for right now. The only, not the only, but one of the red flags that are going off is just the lack of volume there, the lack of conviction. That is what we're really lacking here. And that's why I do not think, and I've said this in my other videos, that we're going to break above 9,990. And I think there's a very small possibility we break above 7,800. Even if we peak above 7,800, I don't think it's going to be very long. So we'll see how this all pans out. I'll do another video tomorrow evening. If you're looking for something like more in-depth analysis, like trade entries, like I have for my subs and so forth, you know, like entries, stops, and etc., I do offer a subscription service. And you can check that out at geometriccharts.com. You can read about it. And then at the bottom of my site, I do have the link to my free Slack channel. And I really don't call it like my free Slack channel. It's a community channel that has over 350 people from across the world, and everyone is extremely friendly. Not everyone's active in there, right? Good luck finding any community to where everyone's 100% active. But the people that are active in there are extremely friendly. They're helpful to each other, and it's just a nice sense of community that is oriented around cryptocurrency. So if you're looking for somewhere to join, to bounce ideas around, or just look at other people's analysis, because people will post their own analysis, they'll post news in there, then you can go to geometriccharts.com. At the bottom, I have the link to my Slack channel, and then I also have the links to my social media accounts as well too. So I thank everybody for their time, everybody for their support. All right, I've been absolutely blessed with the support I've received from YouTube and the various social media platforms. I've attracted a lot of great people, and I cannot thank everybody enough for the support. Sometimes you get the trolls every now and then. Those are perfectly fine. I definitely enjoy reading some of those comments. But anyways, I'll produce another video tomorrow evening. If you do like the videos, you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. And other than that, have a great day, great night, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll talk to everybody tomorrow.